Hello my royal lovelies and welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be a little bit of a Harry and Meghan fest, unfortunately. They've been active, saying things and doing things that I think require some commentary. So let's just get straight stuck into the first Harry and Meghan debacle of the video. This is all about Harry and Meghan's tax return, or I should say the Archewell Foundation's tax declarations. Now, we know that they file their tax in Delaware, probably chosen there because it's a little bit more secretive. I think the laws in Delaware surrounding accounting, it's a little bit more secretive, I think is the word. And I think there are certain tax implications of filing in Delaware. I'm sure people who are more into tax will know a lot more about that than I do. But I think, a lot of companies and foundations and charities choose to base their businesses in Delaware, and it's for, there's an obvious reason for that, the tax reliefs, the secretiveness behind it. And, Harry and Meghan are very secretive when it comes to things of that nature. So I think I made a video on this very same issue a few months ago where I said round about November time, Harry and Meghan would be required to reveal certain accounts. And there was a £4 million kind of missing black hole. This relates to donations that were made either in the first or second year. I think it might have even been the first year. There was like this £6 million donation, I think, and $6 million, I should say. I keep thinking in pounds. Do forgive me. $6 million donation and a $10,000 donation. And they were kind of made, again, very secretively via another kind of charity organisation, if you like. So the donors were trying to kind of hide themselves, or rather Harry and Meghan wanted the donors to hide themselves. A lot of people were speculating at the time, and we still don't know 100% who was behind the $6 million donation. Could it have been Oprah for the Oprah interview, although there was rumours that she made maybe a $10 million deposit? Could it have even have been King Charles trying to almost pay Harry and Meghan off? Although I think that's highly unlikely because, well, I don't know. You see, would Harry and Meghan go as far as then continuing to slag off the royal family if King Charles had just given him $6 million? Normal people wouldn't. Normal people would be very, 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 very thankful and grateful if their father handed over $6 million, and probably wouldn't proceed with the things that they proceeded with post that donation, which kind of leads me to think that, it's not above the realm of possibility. Let's put it that way. Anything is possible with Harry and Meghan. I would not put it past them. But basic logic kind of speaks to me and says, I don't think that was a donation from the king. I think it was more likely one of their friends trying to keep on the down low, possibly Oprah for the interview. I don't know. So we don't know who's behind it, but it is very secretive. So this is relation to a form called the 990. And sources close to the Sussexes at the time it was questioned said that this $4 million would appear at the next filing. However, there is no sign yet of the tax return on Archewell's website. In the past, they have asked for extensions to these deadlines. So basically, they kick the can down the road. I think lots of companies do this. But eventually it will come out, eventually. And because there's lots of media pressure, if they were trying to hide away that $4 million that's missing on the accounts front, I think they would be under intense pressure to put it back in and to actually declare it. So what they're saying is that these organisations that made the donation, they have different tax years to what Archewell does. So perhaps the donation was split into two. is what's kind of being put out there, which is why we saw, I think, $2 million in year one or year two's filing. And then there's this missing 4 million. So let's have a look. Cynthia Reed Olczek, a private wealth partner at Caten Law Firm in New York, said it was a little bit odd that Archewell had not posted the return publicly if it had indeed filed it to the IRS. She said that given how famous Archewell is, well, that's debatable. She said that's interesting. The private wealth partner added that if Archewell had actually missed the IRS deadline, the charity could have faced a fine of up to $60,000. I will also pop up some pictures of some filings as well, just so you can take a perusal at. She did say, though, however, that that's an issue. There are penalties for late filings. So if Archewell missed the deadline 3 years in a row, its tax-exempt status would be automatically revoked. However, perhaps they requested a extension and maybe that was granted. Sussex sources, so take this with a pinch of salt because obviously they want to put out whatever they want to put out, said it was actually because a cheque had gone missing. Oh, this is when they had that missing filing. Do you remember when they said that they'd sent the cheque in the post and it hadn't gone through and it was lost and all the rest of it? Anyway, the ban on continuing trading, functioning, if you like, I say trading, was lifted, and Sussex sources did say that the Archewell Foundation's tax filings for 2022 were submitted in full accordance with all regulations. However, it was revealed later that the £4 million was not declared on the tax return form. So, the donors could have used these two, as I said, kind of organisations, Fidelity and 'Tis Best, to donate money to Archewell anonymously, as was previously the case with large donations to the Sussex's charity. In 2021, an enormous $10 million donation was made through the Silicon Valley Community Foundation, which is, if you didn't know, a mega-rich non-profit organisation and a vehicle for extremely wealthy philanthropists to give out tax-free grants anonymously. Now, the thing with this is, if you are a philanthropist, you kind of, I suppose, almost want people to know that you've done the good work. I mean, maybe you don't. Maybe true philanthropists maybe don't want the glory. Harry and Meghan certainly want the glory. Whenever they make a donation of drums or whatever it is, they release a press statement. But I do think it's a little bit dodgy, especially when you're donating to a very high-profile charity, not to do it anonymously, unless you've got something maybe to hide. Anyway, that kind of led to suggestions at the time and now that Archewell was being almost entirely funded by a single mystery donor. Donor, reveal yourself. Fidelity could be the vessel that was used by one or both of those donors. Now, there is a reason, as I said, why the remaining $4 million was not included in Archewell's 2022 tax return. It's because both Fidelity and 'Tis Best's tax years, try saying that fast, Fidelity and 'Tis Best's tax years run from the first half of one year to the second half of the next. Archewell's is from January to December of a single year. So that means that Fidelity's $6 million could have been split over 2 years and appear as two separate donations for Archewell, while only a single one for Fidelity. The same could be the case for 'Tis Best's cash. So I'll let you draw your own conclusions on that. Archewell says that the charity is compliant with all deadlines and measures of the charitable sector and operates with complete transparency. That's not like Harry and Meghan. They do not ever operate with complete transparency. But this is what they're saying. This is what they're putting out there. However, Archewell's latest tax return is not there. A Treasury spokesman said, For privacy legal reasons, we cannot comment on individual taxpayer situations. Harry and Meghan have been approached by various media outlets for comment, of which they have currently declined. So, in due course, in due time, even with a late filing, even with a delayed filing, will we see this $4 million? I personally think it will be there because it would raise so many questions if it wasn't. Can you imagine if that money wasn't there? People would be saying that Harry and Meghan had kept it for themselves, maybe so that she could buy some more baggy clothes, maybe... I don't know. He certainly hasn't spent it on a hair transplant, has he? I'm only picking on his hair because he picked on William's. Don't come for me. I'm not picking on anyone's looks for the sake of picking on their looks. I'm just drawing attention to the fact that the pot was calling the kettle black in that instance. And I will not let that drop because I think it was appalling how he picked on his brother, the Prince of Wales, for... hair loss when he's going through exactly the same thing. Give it 2 years, Harry will be completely bald. You mark my words. Anyway, I'm going to move on now to the next story. So, Megsy baby, what's she been up to? Meghan has hosted a holiday dinner in LA for women who have resettled in the US from Afghanistan and shared her plans for a low-key Thanksgiving at her Californian home. So in the UK, we are gearing up for Christmas now, so we don't have another holiday from now until Christmas, whereas I know obviously in the US you have Thanksgiving to look forward to, which is kind of, like a different type of kind of Christmas dinner. I did speak to someone recently who tried to explain to me, a proper traditional Thanksgiving dinner, and it does vary a bit to the Christmas. Anyway, I think a lot of people in the USA celebrate Thanksgiving even more than what you would do Christmas. Anyway, Meghan is apparently wanting a low-key one. When does she ever do anything low-key? Come on, she'll probably take photos of it. She'll probably be hiring, a videographer. There'll probably be a reel posted somewhere. She'll probably invite Oprah. Oh my goodness, you get a turkey, you get a turkey, you get a turkey. Everyone gets a turkey. She was joined by the charity Amina's List ahead of next Thursday's holiday to cook traditional Afghan food. I've never had any personally myself. So speaking to Marie Claire, the Duchess discussed the Archewell Foundation's Welcome Project and shared insights into how she'll celebrate the major US celebration with Prince Harry and their children Archie and Lillibet. Well, first of all, this is another example of Archewell piggybacking off the back of other charities' work. What actually does Archewell do in terms of its own initiatives? It always piggybacks. It picks charities to work with, and then it sort of takes all the glory for all the work that they've done, and then maybe donates a little bit of money or some drums, or I don't know, maybe every Afghan person that's been resettled will get a pot of jam. I can hear you all giggling and tittering now. So anyway, she admitted that she loved the holiday season. I see her more as the Grinch, to be quite honest. Anyway, Meghan revealed that seeing it through the eyes of the King's grandchildren made it increasingly special, saying every year it gets better. Well, it would be nice if the King could actually get to see his grandchildren, wouldn't it? Anyway, Meghan also said she can't wait to see it through their lens every year. Well, have you not been seeing it through their lens for the past 5 years in Archie's case? 3 years in Lillibet's case? What have you been doing, my love? Anyway, she also revealed that she'll enjoy a typically low-key Thanksgiving this year. Typically low-key. She'll be in that kitchen with that bowl frantically whipping. Did you see that video for Arrow where she was... that blurry video, the one with Vaseline all smeared on the lens so you can't see some of her wrinkles. Yes, she was frantically, whipping away, wasn't she? She loves nothing more. saying that she loves the fact her mother, Doria, lives close to the family in California, making it easy for them to get together. Again, that's a, what do you call it? A backhanded comment, isn't it? Because it's like saying, well, my mum is close, my family is close, even though she's estranged from half of her family. Remember, Meghan is the common denominator in all these fallings out. It all leads back to Meghan. So she's quite happy for her mother to be close and to be involved, but she was also very happy to whisk Harry thousands, and Archie and Lillibet, thousands of miles away, and being away from Harry's side of the family. And I'm not just talking about the king, but also the Spencer side of the family as well. There are more family excluded in Britain than what there is included in the USA, because it seems like only Doria is counted as being included because she's fallen out with the rest of them. So she's quite happy to brag and bluster about Doria being involved, but not obviously Harry's family. Anyway, so she created the Welcome Project in 2023 together with the Archewell Foundation, which set up together with Prince Harry. The Duchess told the magazine that she hoped the women would find a sense of community in the US, saying, "You miss home, you miss your country, and also can find comfort in the new community that you have here. I'm grateful that we are able to be a part of that community." Well, I'm sure Prince Harry misses the UK terribly, to be quite honest, even though he pretends to slag it off and sue everything left, right and centre. He is believe me, he is a fish out of water. Does anyone actually think he's happy? Is anybody buying the Sussex spin that he's all happy and la-di-da in La La Land? Do we actually think he's being fulfilled over there? Do we actually think he has a real sense of purpose? No, I don't think anyone with any ounce of brain cell would think that he was happy. He's just blustering. It's all bluster. It's all smoke and mirrors with those two. So the charity programme is supposed to create a safe haven and inclusive environment for women who have recently resettled in the US. And that was according to a press release by the Archewell Foundation. Mina's List, the foundation's partner, brought together women and girls who prepared traditional Afghan food, such as ashak and mantu, both of which are a type of typical dumpling with the Duchess. Meghan has never hid her love of cooking up a storm for Thanksgiving. So then why is she saying that she wants a low-key one? Oh, this woman. Anyway, in an unearthed post from the TIG archives, who wants to go plough through all of that? Her now defunct lifestyle blog, Meghan offered 3 of her own recipes for the holiday season to her readers. What was it? It was, I don't even know what it was. Oh, was it something to do with turkey? She said, "I have brined, stuffed and roasted turkey as much as anyone." Oh, I love a brined, stuffed and roasted turkey as much as anyone. But if you're just cooking for 2, maybe a smaller bird is more up your alley. And coupled with a beautiful side and a delicious dessert, you will be the king or queen of happy bellies and full hearts. Oh my God, what drivel, what word salad. Apparently she wrote that in the introduction. And she called their recipes Gobble Gobble Good Cooking, Gobble Gobble Good Grief, and even wrote that there's no carb coma aftermath to the dishes since they're clean eats. Oh my God, what drivel. She's been drivelling on since whenever that was written. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about her torrid cooking and culinary classlessness. Is that even a word? I think I've just invented a word. But anyway, like I said, piggybacking off the back of other charities, trying to claim glory, trying to evoke in the media, those royal connections, but also dissing Harry's family by just speaking about Doria and how close Doria is and how much access Doria has. It's all bluster, my loves. So let's leave that story here for now. So the trailer is out for Harry and Meghan's latest Netflix project, or should I say Netflix trying to recoup any losses from Harry and Meghan project. Remember, Netflix, I'm predicting that Netflix is going to kick Harry and Meghan to the curb in 2025. So they're trying to recoup any losses. Damage limitation, I think, is the word. So this Polo series, remember it was announced with much flourish and bluster, featuring Nacho. Is it Nacho or Nacho? I don't know. Anyway, their polo playing pal. Did you like the alliteration there? Polo playing pal. Say that fast 5 times. Apparently, people are disappointed with the trailer because Harry and Meghan aren't in it. That doesn't disappoint me. That actually makes me happy. The problem with this Polo series is not whether Harry and Meghan are in it or not. The problem is that it's a boring old subject. And the thing is, polo playing is reserved for people that have a little bit of money behind them. It's not typically, I'm not saying people that haven't got money can't play polo or don't play polo, but typically it's people that can afford to keep horses and have a field where they can practice in, or they can afford to go to a members club where they can play polo. It's all very, hoi polloi, isn't it? They say polo is the sport of kings. So in the UK, polo is typically an upper class type sport, or people that live in the countryside might have farms or equestrian facilities, access to all of those. So the problem is that this is quite a narrow field, I think, of interest. And although sometimes it's nice to have a peek into a world that you don't normally have access to, the problem is I just think it's a boring subject and I'm not interested in it. And, I like, luxury programs about luxury hotels and how things work in luxury stores. And that, I love the programs that come out in the UK at Christmas time about, these aristocratic estates at Christmas with all their Christmas lights, and the really bougie London and New York stores getting ready for Christmas with their Christmas windows and all the luxury products and the hotels. I love all that stuff. I'm interested in that kind of stuff, but I'm not interested in polo. That whole world just doesn't scream to me. It doesn't appeal to me. And I think that is the same for a lot of people. Although I do think I'd look good in a pair of jodhpurs, to be quite honest. Anyway, there is a quote coming out saying that any reasonable person tuning into a show about polo made by Prince Harry would expect Prince Harry to take a starring role. That he's not is hugely disappointing for Netflix. Let's face it, polo isn't exactly, as I've just said, a mainstream sport. So the attraction would have been watching Harry. Without him, it's marginal at best. Harry and Meghan's Netflix deal, as I've said, does expire next year. So the Sussexes really do need a big hit, and I do not think this is going to be it. It sounds like a massive, complete and utter flop. So yeah, I'm expecting the deal not to be renewed in 2025. And I think Harry and Meghan will be out on their ear. Next up, I want to talk about Prince Harry being filmed getting a tattoo in a skit with Jelly Roll as they promote the Invictus Games. So the one thing I have to say is I hate Harry doing comedy. It just does not land for me. Do you remember the James Corden sketch when he first fled the UK? And then the series of different sketches and things he's done. The Halloween one, they all fall completely flat to me. I didn't used to mind Cheeky Harry when, if you remember, do you remember when they went to an event where they were on a running track with athletes and he sprinted off first. You know, I like Harry being cheeky, but he doesn't do well in a kind of set-up comedy setting. And this is absolutely no different. So he took part in a skit in which he appears to be given a tattoo by American music star Jelly Roll as part of the build-up to the Invictus Games in Canada. So the footage was filmed in a New York tattoo parlour, East Side Inc. Is this why he went into the tattoo parlour where everyone was speculating whether or not he got a tattoo? I think I speculated that maybe the tattoo should have said something like, "If lost, please return to MM." Yeah, and then a phone number underneath, maybe on his backside, because he's spending most of his day sat on it, let's face it. So I think that's what the truth was. He was in there to film a skit. He wasn't actually getting a tattoo. So Harry squeals as he sits in the chair and gets a fake inking during the skit. So, as I've said, this was thought to have been produced in September. It's being described as a light-hearted clip. I would describe it as vomit-inducing. And of course, he was joined by Jelly Roll. I have no idea who Jelly Roll is. It means nothing to me. So, an excited Jelly Roll tells the Duke, "Do you know, I could not believe it when they called me and told me Prince Harry wanted to get a tattoo today. And he wanted me to give him his first tattoo. But a shocked Harry is quick to reply, 'No, no, no. Why are you wearing a glove?' To which the singing star says, 'We're giving you a tattoo about the Invictus Games.' 'No,' says Harry. 'I came here to ask you to do the Invictus Games,' explains surprised Harry. 'There's no tattoo in this. I can't get a tattoo.' But Jelly Roll is quick to come to a deal, saying, 'I'll play the Invictus Games. You just let me give you your first tattoo.' Eventually, Harry is convinced and replies, 'All right, screw it.' Did he really? Oh my goodness, screw it. Oh my goodness, he's losing all forms of dignity now, isn't he? 'Let's go, let's do it. Where do you want it?' 'On his backside, I'm sure.' 'We got to go for the neck,' insists the singer in the amusing clip. I wouldn't quite call it amusing, my loves. It's not the sort of comedy that I laugh at. But the royal suggests the neck. I was thinking like my lower back or my... Oh, he didn't say ass, did he? Did he say ass? Oh, my goodness. No, nobody wants to see your ass, Harry. Jelly Roll is quick to fire back, adding, 'This is for the world. I'm thinking like here, let me just show you.' The singer then tattoos the Invictus Games logo onto the prince, as well as his own name. Well, that's in case he forgets it, or as I said, in case he gets lost, so that he can be returned to Meghan. To which a shocked Harry says, 'You put your name on my neck? Are you serious? Oh, shiz.' Although I don't think he said shiz. So, shared on X by the tournament's account, the caption for the video read, 'The most inking of a deal in Invictus Games history. What when Prince Harry meets Jelly Roll at East Side Ink Tattoo, blah, blah, blah.' So yes, Harry, the take home from this is that Harry didn't get a tattoo. The other take home from this is that he still sucks at comedy. And I think we're just going to leave it there. Right, that is enough Harry and Meghan for me to stomach in one video. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media. And of course, do hit that bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. So until next time, from me, mwah, to you all my darlings, and goodbye.